Hey everybody, it's a beautiful day here in Grand Junction, Colorado. We still have snow on the ground. We're still having a little bit of inversion, so it's still like in the 30s, so I don't know how beautiful it is, but it's nice. Anyways, one of the things that I've had a lot of questions from people is, oh, is my foundation moving? Now, I'm not a foundation expert by any means, but there are signs of things that show if foundation's moving or not moving. And a lot of them are not foundation moving problems. So I'm going to show you some of the things to look for to know, oh gosh, I have a problem, or oh, it's just a cosmetic flaw in my sheetrock and I don't need to really worry about it other than it's just ugly. So we're going to use my house as the demo here because I actually have a few cracks that have opened up. We remodeled our house about 3 years ago, and I think what's going on is so I guess we should talk about the engineering of a house. Really, a house breathes. It's like everything out there. It moves. It contracts with the heat. So when the sun comes out in the summertime, it expands. When it gets cold at night in the wintertime, it contracts. It shrinks. And they go, basically your house is going like this, like a lung, all the time. And it changes. Everything changes it. So what happens is when it breathes, sheetrock doesn't really give. So where it's going to break is wherever a seam came together, two pieces of sheetrock, you're going to get a crack. So is there anything to worry about there? Not necessarily, other than it's going to be ugly. And I'm going to show you an example of a... I'm just going to not answer that at the moment. Sorry, but can't answer. So I'm going to show you a crack on our house, actually, that is just that. It's just a crack. And if you come over here, and you can see it right here. It's just a straight line up and down. That would be vertical, right? Yeah. Straight line vertical. Yeah. Now other cracks can occur that are horizontal, and if they're in a straight line, they're usually not a problem. That means it's where the butt seams were together, or the joint seams were together, and it's simply cracked. Another place that you might have a problem is, we're going to step over here, and I'll show you. These are things that I have to fix. I wasn't really thrilled with our sheetrock guy, but it's what happens when you're new in town and you don't know anybody. This was a window right here. And you can see there's the line of where the window was. So there's old sheetrock over here. We filled in the window. We put a new piece of sheetrock in. The house is expanded and contracted, and actually broke the seam tape a little bit. So I'm going to have to come back when it gets warmer. I'm going to fix that because I don't like it.
It looks horrible.
It looks awful. But structurally, there's nothing wrong with the house. It's just an ugly darn crack. Yeah.
But if you didn't know there used to be a window there,
you would think, oh my gosh, why is the sheetrock cracking there? We must have a problem. So, what signs that you might actually have a foundation problem? Well, I was at a person's house here a while back, and they literally did have problems. Their house sit on a slab, and literally what their house was doing was Titanicing on them. The one side was just literally breaking away from the other side. And what you would notice first off, like these doors here, they were actually, one was going this way, the other one was going this way. This one wouldn't shut because it was hitting up here. This one had a gap down like that. You know, they were just candy whopper. They wouldn't catch anymore, and they were just way off. The trim was cracking in places like this. And a sign that you might have issues is if you had a crack straight up like that door over there, straight up, I would say that was a seam. When you have cracks that go at an angle away from openings like doorways, windows, that's signs, because it's not a seam that's breaking, it's actually breaking the sheetrock. It's physically pulling the sheetrock apart. That's a clear sign that you might have some actual issues. If you have a gap, like say that gap over there, and it's just not a crack anymore, it's physically spread open.
separating.
Yeah, separating, and you can see the stud back in there.
You can see your garage.
Yeah, if you can see through it, you definitely have a problem. No, but if you can stick something in there and there's an actual gap, that means that those pieces of sheetrock are actually pulling away from each other, and that's not good. Cracking is just that. It just, and you see a line. When it starts to go, you have an issue. What are some other signs?
If your floor is falling down.
That is a good one. That is true, because this person has a slab house. And where they had done a joint seam in the concrete. Literally, this side had popped and was going like this, so the tile had literally went and was like that. That's a problem. The tile literally lifted off the concrete on one side and was in the air. And it was also separating, so it went from a 1/4 inch joint to it had a gap about that big. That's a problem. So that's the way. So doors not shutting. Now, I'm going to show you this, guys. This is not a foundation problem, but this is one of the things that is on our house. We installed the door. I put it true to the wall. I didn't check it for level, and this is what happens to it. It falls open by itself.
We just say Henry's opening the door.
Yep. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the house. The wall, the exterior wall in the house actually just kind of leans a little bit like that. And
There's really nothing you can do about it.
I mean, we could have, shimmed the door out and made some, wedge-shaped trim to go in there to get it level. And I'm like, I can live with it.
And if you want that done, we'll do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could do that. But I'm like, I'm not going to worry about it. But that was, it's just the way it is. There is nothing wrong with the foundation of the house, It just, it moves. What are we going to do?
It's an old house.
Yeah, it's an old house. Yeah, exactly. It was built in 1962. Some things aren't quite perfect.
We've remodeled it, but it is an old house.
Mm-hmm. So some things aren't quite perfect, but the foundation is solid. Nothing's moving on this house. Nothing's giving. We have some cracks that have come because just bad taping, and we're just going to have to, fix them. That's how it is. A lot of new houses. I've seen some new houses 3 years in. They got some cracks. It just happens, So there's nothing to be worried about. People are like, oh my gosh, it's cracked. No, there's nothing to be worried about. Until you start seeing, like I said, angled cracks where it's actually ripping the sheetrock apart. Gapping in the sheetrock where it's actually pulling it apart. It can happen on the ceiling.
You trip over your own floor.
Exactly. Yeah. Or like if you have a wood floor like this and you can actually walk on it and it feels like you're going downhill or you're walking uphill.
Yeah. We've all been a house that does that.
We've been in one. And we've been in a few of those. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Put a ball on it. If it rolls downhill, yeah, you might have an issue. Another thing too is if you're walking around the outside of your house and you're like, oh my gosh, there's a crack in my foundation. There's nothing to worry about there yet, because how we say is there's three. I had a concrete guy tell me this years ago. There's 3 types of concrete: wet, dried, and cracked. So if it just cracks, it's the same as sheetrock. If it's just cracked, there's nothing wrong with it. If it's got good rebar in it and it's been, supported like it's supposed to be, then it'll just crack and it'll stay. If the concrete starts to go like that and you start to get a gap in there, or let's say your wall starts to go like this, one piece is going in, one piece is going out, that's a problem. That's a foundation issue for sure. But if it just cracks, nothing wrong with that. The only time there's a problem is if it cracks enough that you get some water actually seep through. Then it's a problem. Yeah. Because that means your house isn't sealed on the outside very well on the foundation. And you have to have it all dug up and sealed, because the last thing you want to do is water to get between the cracks and then freeze. Yep. Because what that'll do is it will start to push your concrete apart and blow it out more. So you don't want that. So guys, that's some simple signs of, do I actually have a foundation problem, or do I just have some cracked sheetrock that looks like crud? And we just need to address it, get it patched and paint it and move on.
If you're really worried about it, call a foundation guy.
Yeah.
There's foundation repair guys all over.
Yeah, you can call me out. I'll come out and I'll look at it and go, I think you just have a cosmetic issue, or I'll look at it and go, you got a foundation issue. You need to call the experts out here to have them look at it and see what they think, Because I've done it long enough. I know the signs. I've seen some problems. I can give you a fairly good, what's the word I'm looking for?
Now I lost it.
Come on, word.
Assessment. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, there you go. Assessment.
We're old.
I can give you a fairly good assessment of the problem,
Yes.
Most times around here, I think in this valley, I've seen a lot more cracked sheetrock than I ever saw in Missouri. And I think the problem is here is it's dry. In Missouri, we had humidity, so your house stayed wet. So all your wood stayed nice and expanded, so nothing ever shrunk.
We had a lot of mold problems.
Yeah,
though,
we had
there.
a lot of mold. We had different issues. We went from cracked sheetrock to moldy sheetrock. Yeah, so be happy you don't have that problem. But I think what happens here is it's so dry, the wood dries out and it actually shrinks, and that's what causes a lot of this cracking that they have here in the valley. And then winter comes along and it gets cold and it contracts, and then it comes out the sun and it expands and it's dry. It's
You
just
can
dry.
actually hear your house cracking sometimes. That's pretty normal.
Yeah. That's nothing wrong with that.
In old houses.
Yeah, old houses, even some new ones. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, and they'll creak a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if we go from a really cold day to boom, a really hot day. Your house is going to expand really fast, and so you're going to hear some as it goes
Yeah.
bigger. Same with maybe hot to cold, you'll hear some contracting.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of that's perfectly normal. Don't get too worried about it. No reason to get crazy. Have your house all pured up and everything like
If
that.
you're worried about it, call an expert.
Yeah, call somebody. Yeah. Most experts will be happy to come out and look at it and tell you, you don't have a problem.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to cover today because I've heard a lot of people asking about cracks, and I'm like, I just want to let people know you don't have a lot to worry about. The chances of your house actually moving and having a problem are kind of rare. I've seen them. I've seen a lot of few.
A lot of few.
A lot of few. Word of the day. That'd be the phrase of the day. A lot of few. Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of houses move. So if you think you're having problems, I've seen houses that literally have sunk 3 inches on one side. That was, yeah. We looked at buying one of those. Me and Rusty did as a flip house, and we walked in there. I tell you, by the time we got to the second story, there was a gap between this piece of sheetrock and that piece of sheetrock about that big. That's a problem. That's a house that's really.
There are people that can fix those problems, though.
Yeah. It was a foreclosure,
but it's expensive.
It was a foreclosure. I wonder why.
Yes.
The
people were probably like, done, peace out.
Yeah, let the bank worry about it. There'd been lawsuits because it was like a year-old house,
Yeah.
What happened was they'd taken a hill, pushed it off one side, then
Yep.
back the soil over here, came in and built a house on it, and this side decided to settle. That happens. So, all right, well, I'm going to let everybody go. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. We'd be happy to come out and look at your cracks and let you know. And if we think you have something more serious, we'll refer you to the foundation guys and let them come out and take a better look at it as well. And let you know what's going on. So, as always, have a great one. You can check me out on
MightyManHandyman.com.
MightyManHandyman.com, YouTube, Instagram, and
Of course, Facebook.
Facebook, of course. Is that all? Did we cover all?
I think we did.
Basically everywhere.
We have a great blog as well.
Yep. That comes out every week.
If you go to our website and sign up for our emails, you can get our blog every week.
And they're pretty awesome.
Today's blog was on garbage disposals, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 useful tips in there to how to
Yeah.
keep your garbage disposal working longer. And so check that out. And we'll talk to y'all later. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye.